Welcome to the Rise and Wander podcast, where we'll explore adventure, spirituality, and empowerment through the outdoors and beyond. Join me, Carla Amador, as we focus on topics around the mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional benefits derived through the outdoors. You'll also hear inspiring stories, get educated, and more. Let's get started. This season's podcast is sponsored by Oboz Footwear, based out of Bozeman, Montana. I proudly wear my Oboz footwear for hiking, traveling, and more. They have many styles and options to choose from for all your winter and hiking needs. Looking for hiking boots, recovery shoes, or fast and light hikers? Look no further and check them out at obozfootwear.com. Welcome to episode 10 of the Rise and Wander podcast. Thank you so much for listening up until this point. This is the final episode of this series of the podcast on Mount Kilimanjaro and hiking this epic trail or high point around the world. So I just wanted to wrap up the series with some notes on my final thoughts, some learnings, and share one of the participants' letter with you all. This trip was an experience of a lifetime, as I've mentioned in other episodes, and it really made me fall in love with Africa and its people and culture and all of its incredible, amazing offerings. So for me, I was able to not only hike this high point and achieve a lifetime goal, but then to go on safari and to see all these incredible animals, from elephants, zebras, wildebeests, rhinos, hyenas, birds galore, staying in incredible lodges and all of that. That was amazing. I also ended up going to Zanzibar, and it was a nice way to end the trip, let my foot heal. As I mentioned at the end, I ended up having an ankle injury. And so it was really nice to have downtime and get to enjoy the beach, get a little culture and history, and just get to continue to connect with the locals. I don't know that this will be my last time in Africa, because I definitely think there's a possibility of another trip and community trip at some point in time. And if it's not myself, it might be one of our leaders in the future. But I do see us continuing to take groups out to do these grand adventures. I do think that there's something really special about bringing people who are in the same community that want to come together, meet, and achieve a beautiful goal. One of the lessons that I wanted to share is saying yes to life, saying yes to the callings within you, saying yes to adventure, setting these goals for yourself. You never know, it might lead you to the top of Africa and one of the 7 summits, in addition to an incredible journey that you'll get to talk about for the rest of your lives to your family and friends and your grandchildren. And say yes to life, say yes to adventure, set your goals and make it happen. It's truly one of life's greatest opportunities. And then also being open to sharing these experiences with others. You might make lifelong friends. I know that there were many people I didn't know that I could reach out to at any point and connect with, and that there are people that truly care about me and I care about. And I would not have met them had they not said yes, or had I not put this idea out there. That's another really fun little tip there. So, yeah, when taking a big trip, make sure that you really truly do test out your gear before you go on the trip. And if things are not up to par, then it's time to replace them, or you can re-waterproof and test and make sure that waterproofing is actually working. And then just have backups. If something fails, that you have some way that won't cause you to not be able to finish your trip because you didn't have that redundancy. So I think that was one of the biggest ones for me. And carrying a poncho would have been super helpful in keeping my stuff dry, but also allowed me to summit thanks to someone giving me one at the end there. Another thing, follow your gut. I always say this in life in general, follow your gut. You have intuition. We all have it, and it's trying to guide us. And so a lot of times we'll think to ourselves, like, oh, I had this feeling. Why didn't I do that? So I find the more I'm outdoors and the more I listen to myself and my gut instincts, I'm always like, I'm so thankful that I listened to myself. And so I listen a lot more to myself now. If I get an inkling, you should put this away right now. For example, my passport, put your passport here, put it away 2 weeks before your trip. I try my best to always listen to those little voices or a little instinct to do that, as Oprah would call it, the whispers. Follow your own gut when it comes to your own safety, to your own gear. I think that's one thing that I would rather have more gear than too little. I think it's something to value within yourself and learn how to tune into that and getting closer to your own knowing. And a big way to really grow and to become comfortable in that is to start small, even sitting with yourself quietly and asking yourself questions and tuning into the body, like, how does this feel in my body? A really great exercise that I can give you now is whenever you're facing a moment or a challenge, just quietly sitting with yourself, taking some deep breaths, really just tuning into your own knowing. And if something doesn't feel right, it's not going to feel good in your body. That's a sign that you need to course correct, or there's something for you to look at there. And if you feel okay, like you feel safe and you feel peace, especially peace, you feel something positive within your body. Let's just say you're sitting there and you're thinking about, should I bring this piece of gear? You're feeling unsure. Maybe you need to sit with that a little bit longer. But also, if you get an immediate yes, like that is the easiest way to know. We always have the answers within us. It's that sometimes we get disconnected. There's many reasons why we get disconnected from our intuition, from our bodies. But my hope is that this exercise will help you to get closer to that knowing and to learn how to activate and really encourage yourself to grow in your own knowing, grow in your intuition, because that guiding light and guiding voice really has your own best interests. From my experience and doing the work I'm doing, not only in the outdoor space, but in the personal growth space, and in learning more and more about how we heal ourselves and how do we not only heal ourselves, but how are we most authentically ourselves. So I know it kind of went a bit far off my list here, but I do think that's really important. I think there is such value to learning to grow within our own knowing and to be authentic to that voice. So I want to give you the permission to do that, to grow and to learn and to move on in your life in a way that is aligned with who you are. And that is one of the greatest ways of being in alignment, is listening to that voice within, that guidance that is looking out for your own best interests. I wanted to take a moment to thank this season's Rise and Wander podcast sponsor, REI. REI is the outdoor gear retailer of the 52 Hike Challenge. I've been a member since I started my 52 hikes in 2012, and they've helped outfit me for all things hiking and outdoors since then. Becoming a member has many perks like 10% back annually on eligible purchases, a satisfaction guarantee, which gives you up to a year to return any purchases you aren't satisfied with, free shipping in the US, and so much more. Please visit them at rei.com. Join me for a year of hiking in 2025 with the 52 Hike Challenge. Commit to your personal journey outdoors alongside a supportive community and make 2025 your year of hiking. Take your family, friends, furry pets on an adventure they'll always cherish. Plus, you'll gain the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional benefits derived through nature and hiking. Learn more and sign up at www.52hikechallenge.com. And see you on the trails. All right. So this one's kind of funny, but I feel it's huge. And that is to bring some trash bags with you. And I'm talking about the big gallon bags, those are really going to be helpful in case something happens and you need to wrap your clothing or your backpack or even potentially yourself and create a poncho or something. So I always think for big trips and when you're in the mountains, that's going to be a big one. And then on Kilimanjaro, don't forget that the porters and guides are there to help you. And if they say to you, like, hey, can we carry this for you? They know what you need to be successful. So trust them. They want to see you succeed. This is their livelihood once again. This is what they do for work. And listen, receive that help. You don't have to do it all on your own. I think that's been one of my life's greatest lessons is I can do it all on my own, but I'm going to be exhausted and I'm going to be not my best self. And then things start happening because I'm just taking on too much. And so it's really been a journey for me to allow myself to receive help, to ask for help, to be open to, okay, I can delegate these things. So, really huge, empowering life lesson. And you allow others to help you, and you then help yourself, and you're not as stressed and you can really be a lot more successful, not only on the summit, but in life when you stop having to do it all yourself. And funny, as I'm sharing this with you, I'm like taking that in so deeply within myself. It's been truly one of my greatest lessons in the last years is just to stop doing it all on my own. And then, of course, take it slow and easy, take it steady, take it one step at a time, keep practicing and staying active by doing the 52 hike challenge or staying on some sort of a regimen that will help you not only in achieving this goal, but in your life. So, for me this year, it's now a time where I've been thinking about my own personal goals. I've just said, I want to make sure I'm working out 5 times a week, whether I'm going to the gym, working out in the outdoors and doing my hikes, or I'm running, or I'm going to yoga or dancing. Any action that is keeping me active will help me to know that whenever these great hikes come around, I will be in shape to do them. So I try my best to stay on that. And I think it's just really good to consistently stay active. It's good for your mental well being, for your physical health. So many benefits that I could go on about, but I digress. Other small little things that, I think could be really nice as you're considering this is bringing some gear that you can either leave for the porters or the guides that you don't need anymore. I was impressed with sometimes what I would see the guides and porters wearing. So if you have any things that you could give away, maybe even bringing some things. I think next time I would want to collect some things and try to bring a couple of luggage items full of extra gear and such. And I know that even at the end, when you're done, maybe you don't need something anymore. Maybe you can leave it behind with them. They will gladly take it. And there were guides, not only did I run into all shapes and sizes, there were even women who were carrying people's stuff up the mountains that might help you as you're thinking about bringing things to share and to gift. Lastly, I want to say to share this journey after you're done, no matter what the outcome, celebrating your journey that you tried something and it's not about the summit, really isn't. It's about the fact that you said yes, that you attempted something really great for yourself, and you probably got to experience something magical along the journey. I think that's really important to celebrate the small wins, celebrate yourself for trying things out and going after your dreams, and really removing that pressure of, I have to make the summit because at the end of the day, we're not always going to reach every single goal and peak we want to reach. Sometimes it might take us a few tries. Sometimes that's just not in the cards for us, and that's okay. And having more grace with ourselves but also celebrating ourselves no matter what and where we end up, I think is really cool. So, with that, I want to share that there will be a season 3 of this podcast. And in that season, I'm actually going to be sharing all about traveling because I've been able to travel all around the world now, and I've learned so much about travel throughout the years, and I do want to bring that information to you. So, the next series is going to be all about how to travel on your own, things to consider, fears, all the things you can think of. I'm going to do my best to be your resource for traveling, and of course, hiking when you're traveling, which is one of the most amazing things you can do when you're out there and experience different cultures and different flora, fauna, animals, and scenery. It's something so cool that I get to listen to tons of people share when they're done with their 52 hikes. They go, "This challenge brought me hiking to 5 different countries," or "I went to 5 different states." So traveling can mean a lot of different things to people, and we will get into the details of that in the next series. But with that, I do want to share this story because I do think it's very impactful. So I'm going to pull it up here and read it to you. And this is one of many letters that I get to receive doing this work that I do, and it melts my heart. It gives me a lot of joy and inspiration and motivates me and helps me. So I'm going to read you this letter, and I really hope you enjoy it. All right. I'm sitting here on a 10-hour flight reflecting on this trip, and I have to pour my heart out for a moment. This whole experience has been incredible, and I absolutely feel like it has changed me. I never, ever imagined I could do something like this. Not only climb a mountain, but also fly to the other side of the world alone to spend a week in the wilderness with a group of strangers. When I signed up, I knew that it would be difficult, scary, and uncomfortable, but also that it would be worth it. It was all of those things at one point or another, and so worth it. I have so many feelings and I can't put them into words. But the biggest thing that has hit me this past week is not necessarily the climb itself. Since you've all pretty much heard my life story this week, you know by now I have always struggled to make friends and connect with people. And my biggest takeaway from this trip is that I feel like I have made real connections and friendships with people who genuinely enjoyed talking to me and spending time with me, even for a week straight. I've never been welcomed and accepted into a group like this. I've never gotten a nickname before. I've never felt like I truly belonged in the way you all made me feel. You really have no idea how insanely impactful it has been for me. So I just want to express my utmost gratitude for sharing this amazing adventure with me and legitimately changing my life. You are ridiculously awesome people, and I hope we cross paths again. Thank you all so much for everything. That was one of the participants of the Kilimanjaro trip, and I just really, truly am so grateful to all of you for listening. And I hope you join us or join a group in this epic life adventure of Kilimanjaro. And I hope this podcast was helpful to you. And I'll see you in the next series.